Something smells this week. I know you're wondering what I'm talking about. But anyway, this week we're going to talk about reviews. We're going to talk about reputation. We're going to talk about something that's happened in the OEM industry that it's the first time ever. And I'm like, it's about time. But the biggest thing is I've got something very, very special you're going to want to be sure and see. That's this week on Think Tank Tuesday. Hi, I'm Paul Potratz.
And I'm Cory Mosley.
And welcome to Think Tank Tuesday. Whew, good thing we don't sing for a living. So anyway, as far as, I got a really special guest. I'm excited to have Cory in the studio today. And we're going to, actually, it's Alone Time with Cory.
Hashtag
Alone Time with Cory. Love that.
Times 100,000.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, got it.
So anyway, Cory and I were rolling into Alone time this morning?
No.
Okay, all right.
Now, the truth is, everyone knows that Paul's a bowler. So we were rolling in today, and we started having a conversation, and I was convincing him that he needs to trade up, trade in, trade out into a new ride. So we started talking about the new Benz, and we started having this conversation. Now, I was talking about features and all these different things, and he really wasn't paying me too much attention until I got to the good stuff, which is the new sensory experience that Mercedes is putting in the new S-Class, where they're actually putting the perfume in the glove box, and it's going to mist out.
Do we have to say perfume, though? That you just lost me on that.
Okay, they call masculine scents.
Aromatherapy.
Aromatherapy, there you go, yeah. They're going to put aromatherapy in the cars, and it's going to go out through the circulate in the air, and then he was in.
Boom, scent marketing.
Right.
I mean, I've talked about scent marketing, but also you talked about, too, as far as the mood lighting. In the new Benz.
That is correct. So you also get the 7 stages, 7-stage mood lighting. So you end up with all of these colors, this whole sensory experience. And of course, you're dealing with a marketer. What does he start thinking about? What the impact of that could be in a retail environment?
Exactly. I mean, you kind of think about it. So Mercedes is doing, it sounds like a Mercedes commercial almost now.
Right.
But Mercedes is doing this.
Discount.
No other yeah. We could get as far as.
I know a few people.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
All right, so, anyway, so you kind of think about this. So the manufacturer is doing that with the experience on somebody on a test drive. I mean, that would be pretty impactful. But so many dealers are talking about, oh, my online reputation, reviews, and they're focused on the reviews. And, you know, while reviews are important, I mean, I've never said that they weren't important, but I've said, let's bring it back to the basics, because sometimes we get caught up in well, there went that squirrel again. We get caught up in that shiny nickel. But how can you, if the manufacturer's doing that, why isn't a dealership doing that? Like last week, we were in Vegas hanging out together, and we walked into Hugo Boss, and you're like, oh, wow, look at the aroma. And I'm like, oh, yeah, they have aromatherapy in all the Boss stores. And then you started talking about hotels and that.
That's right. We were in the Aria. The same thing in the Aria. When you go in, there's a sensory experience. Because really what you're talking about at this point is you're talking about how customers connect. So it's about the experience. That's what people comment on. We don't talk about the features and the benefits. We talk about the overall experience. And that's the thing that becomes huge when you start talking about something like sensory marketing.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a whole thing. I mean, I wrote an article about as far as aroma marketing about 1.5 years ago. And people laughed about it. And then I said, you know, hey, it's important. You know, if you want to talk about reviews and reputation of your dealership, put some nice toilet paper in the bathroom. And, you know, one of the guys on those review places started trying to take pokes at me. But I'm just like, serious, when's the last time you went and you wiped something with something and you were like, whoa?
Well, here's the deal, too. There's instant brand recognition. Tell me you haven't been into a mall. Tell me you haven't been walking through an airport and smelled the Cinnabon.
Yeah.
And you know exactly, you don't need to see the sign for Cinnabon, but Auntie Annie's, Cinnabon, these are guys that, of course, they're selling food, but I don't have to see the sign or the brand to connect with it.
Exactly.
But I immediately think about the experience. I can literally, I try to stay away from the Cinnabons, but I can literally taste the thing right now because of the sensory experience.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, that's the thing as far as, so we're talking about that, and as far as recognition and remembering that. But how does it make you feel inside?
Sure.
I mean, just the feeling. And I mean, the hotels have done all kinds of studies. I mean, like the smell of lavender in a hotel makes you go relax. So if you're a dealership, I mean, I'd be all about the lavender, because if I had somebody in the showroom floor
with their iron mat or with their just looking attitude on and their just looking iron kind of clad deal going, how do you relax them and not do? I find it's about how you can not be so direct. How you can get the job done and put the customer in the state of mind that you want them to be in without doing it directly to their face. Sit down and relax, Mr. Potratz.
Can I get you a Coke?
That's correct.
You got $1?
That's correct. Right. A lot different than starting the experience that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but carry that on. Think about the senses. What are our 5 senses? So we got sight, sound, smell, touch.
Right.
How many was that?
Yeah, that was.
Wait, we got 5 senses. So 5 senses.
That's enough.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, let's kind of take that on. Let's talk about somebody that's super rich.
Sure.
That basically has his own jet, his own helicopter, and he flies around in. Tony Robbins.
Sure.
And I mean, when you go to one of his events, that's his whole thing, that he's touching all of the senses. And I mean, he's got like this cult following of people.
I've walked on fire.
You walked on fire.
I've walked on fire.
So there you go. And I mean, so he's got this cult following, and it's by all these affecting the senses.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Part of what keeps you, because if you've ever done Tony Robbins' deal, you're up literally from like 7 to midnight. So the one way that he actually can keep you up that long is, yeah, they got you kind of touching people too. But the other thing is the light. They do a lot of visual experiences too that keeps you engaged. So, you know, it's always amazing to me, because I'm always trying to find things to drag into the business that exist every other place. So this is not new information to the world, but this is something new to the car business.
And you kind of think about it. So why do the dealers not do this? And I think that's because a lot of dealers, a lot of business owners, really, I mean, their real job is they're firemen. They're always putting out fires that they haven't said, you know, we need to do this.
Working in their business instead of on the business.
Exactly.
Right. Sure.
But again, I mean, so what type of conversion? Would this affect your conversion? I have to say, yeah, without a doubt. You could actually increase your conversion if you started touching all of those senses to bring down that wall. Started offering as far as, can I get you a Starbucks coffee? Because Starbucks has even done it.
Sure, absolutely.
Can I get you an Earl Grey tea?
Sure. Well, here's the other thing. When we talk about selling and closing and driving business, we're also talking about building value. And a lot of times value comes from time that you get an opportunity to build it. So if I'm creating a sensory experience in the dealership, that gets me more time potentially with the prospect to do all of the road to the sale things I'm supposed to do, which while they're there should be building value. That reduces buyer apprehension, and that allows us to close more business.
So we've just done all that. And let's say we have aromatherapy. We've worked on our lighting so the fluorescents aren't so...
Smell good, look good,
yeah.
right?
And that, I mean, but what about as far as your salespeople? What about the presentation of the salespeople? And I mean, like internally at Potratz, I mean, we have the rule. If you show up to work, you're in a shirt and tie. You're coming here to work. You're here to do business.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it should be that way.
And you clearly set the stage for that.
Yeah. And I mean... And I think that's important. So now you start to build all of these elements where you're touching all of the senses, the perception, the image, the branding, and all of that, instead of being so worried about your online reviews. And this is what I'm saying. Those online reviews would automatically take hold. And dealers are like, oh, who's going to do a review on that? Well, it seems like if you want to read a review about a restaurant or a hotel, it's pretty easy to find.
Sure.
And especially somebody like, let's say, the Bellagio or somewhere like that. They've got a lot of reviews. People just took time to do it.
Well, keep in mind, an online review is based on generally a sensory experience of some sort, whether reviewing a product that you've had a chance to touch, wear, use, or an experience that you had online, a visual experience. Went to their website, sucked, couldn't find anything, didn't know where it was. That's still an experience you're reporting on. So the fact that it's online doesn't change the fact that it's user-generated. Let's hope the reviews are user-generated. It's user-generated based on an experience. And the big thing with experiences is we remember 2 types for the most part, the worst and the best. So if you're selling cars, you're selling 20 cars a month, guess what? You remember your highest grossing deal and you remember your lowest grossing bad CSI customers. You don't remember the other 15 cars a month that you sell. You just remember those. So best party, worst party. So when you're talking about an experience, we've just plugged ARIA. We've just plugged Mercedes, we've plugged Cinnabon, we've plugged all of these companies who have competitors, but we've just plugged them now to the 100,000 people who view these videos. Why? Because of the experience that we've personally had or are excited about having, because the Benz comes up next month, so cool your jets. It'll be there. It'll be there.
I know. But I mean, but think about that. So now let's put that down to a local dealer. Let's say that as far as I'm a Chevy dealer, Kia dealer, whatever the case might be, and I've got competition, and I'm going to put that into my own thought process more or less. For example, as far as where we went into the Hugo Boss. So we went into the Hugo Boss store that actually has aromatherapy, aroma marketing, has that scent. And then we go in there, and I mean, here's the suits, and I'm looking at the suits, and I'm like, oh, wow. And then I go to one of those as far as big brand stores that carry all of these brands. But for some reason, I feel like I should be buying my suit from Hugo Boss because I'm thinking maybe, I don't know what I'm thinking. I really don't know what it is why I'd rather buy it from Hugo Boss than I would, like, let's say, another one of those stores.
That's the beauty of influence.
Yeah.
The causation is you're taking action, and you don't always know why you're taking action. I mean, that's where psychology comes into play. It's the same idea of, if I didn't know you and I had to spend the whole day with you, if I just used your name every time I talked to you, we would build a relationship. You won't know why. You won't be able to go, I like that guy because he used my name. It doesn't sound practical that way, but that's the neat part about it, is you're associating that. You're saying, hey, I want to go buy a suit, and you're saying, I like this brand too. Not just because of the look, but you're saying, I like the experience of the brand. Exactly. So you like the Perrier water, you like the sensory experience, you like the seating. Now you start buying stuff. I mean, I was in that store with you, and I didn't go in there to buy a thing, and I ended up buying stuff that I had no intention of buying.
Yeah.
So,
and it's really, I mean, same product at the one store. I'm gonna lay down though. I know you are. Especially when we're talking about clothes and shoes. Right. Hey, Christmas is coming up, guys. So, pocket square, shoes, gift certificates, whatever.
Put both emails at the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. No, so you kind of think about that. So, I mean, put that into as far as Chevy dealer, and here it was. Hugo Boss in the one store that was the Hugo Boss store, and then it was like, I think Nordstrom that we went to or something, and they had Hugo Boss, and then some other store, it was Needless Markup. I mean, whatever they're called. Right. Yeah, Needless Markup.
No mail this way.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
The views of Paul Poitras are not the views of Cory Mosley.
And then the sackless Fifth Avenue, and we went in there, and it was like we went right back to as far as Hugo Boss, and that's where, 5 suits later, sports coat and all that stuff.
Right.
But they had stuff over at the other store that I really liked, but it was all about, I've gotten comfortable with Hugo.
Right. And you have now an expectation.
Yeah.
So, and you're less likely to go on another brand. So when everybody's racking their brain about what's the next marketing thing we can do or what price we can do, it's these other things.
Back to the basics.
Right. How can we take customers out of market, based on the customer experience?
You kind of think about it. When's the last time you were running down the street and as far as you drove past a Burger King and you smelled that smell of Burger King and you're like, oh, no. So there's all of these opportunities. And I mean, there's aromatherapy companies that will design your own custom scent.
Right.
And for example, like where the guy had to alter my sport coat and my shirt, this was pretty interesting. So it finally made it, And it shows up in the box, and I open up the box, and guess what? Here come the smell again. And I was like, you know what? Maybe we need to go to the city this weekend, Cory. So I need to go look at some, flashy looking sports coat. So now they're doing it in the mailings that they send to me. So think about that in direct mail.
And the key is you have to separate what you think about doing analytically to what human behavior and psychology calls for. Because it's different. Guys will sit down and they'll try to map out a strategy and they'll go, oh, I wouldn't like that, or I wouldn't do that. Well, you're thinking analytically. You're not thinking about emotion. You're not thinking about how your customers feel. You're only thinking about what they say or what they're thinking. And there's a big difference in results between those two strategies.
Exactly. So our takeaway is, what's our takeaway from that?
Smell like lavender, and you'll sell more cars.
Exactly. So there you go.
But I want to say this. Don't be afraid. I mean, we're talking about something here that's serious business. I mean, Mercedes has made a significant investment in putting this in their cars, the hotels. All these brands do it. And don't think, because we love in our business to be, who else is doing it? I don't care. Let's not wait till 22,000 other dealers are doing it. Be first. Try something different. Try a different engagement. So don't be afraid to go in a direction that you haven't been.
So basically you're saying, do you want to be a follower or do you want to be a leader? I don't know about you, but I always choose to be the leader, and that's what we want you to choose. So you got anything else to add to all this?
No, but I definitely want to work with Bird Dog on your new Benz, though.
Yeah, baby. So with that, as far as if you guys don't know, Dennis Galbraith has recently joined us, and he's got his own video series that comes out on Fridays, and where you've been used to Think Tank Tuesday with a white background, Dennis has got the
hard facts
with a black background. So sign up for that. It's on our website, and I thank Cory for being with us, and I'm going to see if I can get him to do another video here in a minute.
Well, and you're going to come do my video, too.
Oh, yeah. If you guys don't know about Cory's video series.
Work on Yourself Wednesday.
Work on Yourself Wednesdays.
Coming soon.
You got to sign up for that one. So hop over to Cory's website. Brad, put Cory's website on the bottom of the screen. Brad's been really quiet behind the camera there.
Yeah, they're like, you just called him out. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, they know somebody's on the other side of the screen, though. So.
Well, no, it's my remote control. No, but anyway, so thanks, Brad. So awesome. So check out Cory, check out Dennis, and thanks for watching us. And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Thanks for watching Think Tank Tuesday. Tune in next week for more digital marketing tips from Potrats. To download this podcast or watch previous episodes, search for Think Tank Tuesday on iTunes or visit us online at ppadv.com.